So in one of our previous videos, I asked what you wanted me to talk about next, and a lot of people seemed like they wanted me to talk about Drake Bell, so we're gonna talk about Drake Bell. So this man has definitely had a pretty wild life. He's gone from starring in several Nickelodeon shows to changing his name and moving to Mexico. After doing a ton of research for this video, I've come to the conclusion that Drake Bell sucks. I didn't know a lot of things that he had done. All I'd known before going into this video, honestly, was that he was on Drake Bell and the Amanda Show, and I was like, oh, what a fun, lighthearted video on Drake Bell we're gonna do. But holy shit, like Drake Bell is kind of a monster, so buckle up. In this video, we're gonna start from the beginning of his life and talk about everything that's happened up until present day Drake. Just a warning, we'll be talking about verbal and physical abuse in this video and also child grooming. So let's dive into his early life. Drake spawned in California on June 27th of 1986. His mom is a professional billiards player. His first name isn't actually Drake, it's Jared. And he had been acting since he was 5 years old. He started playing guitar when he was 15 for his role in this TV movie called Chasing Destiny. It also starred Roger Daltrey from The Who, and that was who gave Drake his initial guitar lessons. Drake focused on acting as a teenager and just wrote songs on the side. So the first show that Drake starred in for Nickelodeon was The Amanda Show, and this ran for 3 seasons from 1999 to 2002. And Drake and Josh was actually a spin-off of this show, and that aired in 2004. Drake wrote and performed the theme song for the show called Found a Way. And he kind of plays an exaggerated version of himself on Drake and Josh, a guitar player named Drake Parker. In terms of Drake's music releases, he released his first album independently in 2005 called Telegraph. There's a song on this album called Circles that actually features beatboxing from Josh Peck. Drake signed to Universal soon after and released his second record, It's Only Time. He takes a lot of influence from the Beatles in this, and you can hear it especially in songs like I Know and Fool the World. Then Drake and Josh was canceled. It was done in 2007. And this wasn't because of the network. This was actually because Drake and Josh wanted to branch out from working with Nickelodeon. So technically it wasn't canceled, it just ended. And aside from a live album called Drake Bell in Concert, he didn't release anything else music-wise until 2011. An EP called A Reminder. It's a whopping 4 songs. The production on this is noticeably more polished than his previous works. One of the producers of this EP, Josh Fields, actually sued Drake Bell because Drake ordered 9 songs from this producer and only paid for 5. But only 4 of these actually made it on the EP. And Drake didn't even bother to respond to the lawsuit, so the judge was just like, all right, Josh, you win, I guess. Freaking Pog Champ of the Night. Poggers. Fast forward to 2014, and Drake Bell gets to work with one of his childhood heroes, Brian Setzer, on his 3rd album, Ready, Steady, Go. The lead single of this album is titled Bitchcraft. It's a song about how a girl broke his wee little heart, and it's pretty cringe, in my opinion. And apparently Justin Bieber tried to crash Drake Bell's album release party, probably because Drake Bell used to talk a lot of shit on Justin Bieber. Then Justin Bieber did show up, and he crashed the party, and everyone freaked out when he showed up and was like, he was stealing all the attention, and Drake Bell was not happy. So pretty sweet revenge, if you ask me. And Drake Bell also filed for bankruptcy that same year. So Drake Bell bought a $2 million house the same year that Drake and Josh was canceled. And yeah, his house went into foreclosure when he filed for bankruptcy. In 2014, Drake Bell said he was making less than $3,000 a month, but his monthly expenses were around $20,000 a month. And a lot unfolded between the release of his 3rd album, Ready, Steady, Go, and his 4th album, The Lost Album. He released a live EP in 2015, got arrested for a DUI in that same year, got arrested for another DUI in 2016 and was sentenced to 4 days in jail, but only served one of those days. Came out with another EP in 2017, Came out with a couple singles in 2018 and an acoustic cover of Gucci Gang. And also in 2018, a 15-year-old girl filed a police report against Drake Bell in Canada. And this was related to an incident that happened in December of 2017 when this girl attended one of his live shows in Ohio. But more doesn't happen related to this until 2021, so we'll get to that later. So a ton of abuse allegations actually came out about Drake Bell from his former girlfriends. In 2020, one of his ex-girlfriends named Melissa posted a video explaining how Drake physically and verbally abused her. They dated between 2006 and 2009, and they started dating when Drake was 20 and Melissa was 16. And she even moved in with him at that age. But of course, Drake denied these claims and said they only called each other bad names when they broke up. And another ex-girlfriend of Drake's named Peyton came out and supported Melissa's claims, and she dated Drake from 2011 to 2016. Peyton sent Melissa a message on Instagram saying, "Hey Melissa, this is Peyton. I was Drake's girlfriend for 5 years after you. I will stand by your side and back you up as I went through the same horrific verbal, physical, and mental abuse." Melissa also shared a photo of the aftermath of Drake's abuse and the police report she filed shortly after they broke up. I'm not going to show you the photo. If you really want to look at it, you can Google it. And soon, a bunch of other women came forward to talk about their experiences with Drake Bell. And multiple of these women claimed that they were underage when he reached out to them. Then Drake Bell changes his name and moves to Mexico. He rebranded his music to be all in Spanish, changed his name to Drake Campana, and Campana means bell in Spanish. So now all of his social media pages are in Spanish too. He came out with 2 albums in 2020, one in English titled The Lost Album, and another one titled Sesiones en Casa. The title of the album is in Spanish, but there are actually a bunch of songs within that are in English. There's only 4 songs with titles in Spanish, and only 3 of those 4 are actually in Spanish. And a lot of the songs on this album were already released, so I guess he just re-released them on this album. He's actually pretty popular in Mexico. His song Fuego Lento, which is in Spanish and English, has over 26 million streams on Spotify. It wasn't long before he had to come back to the United States though, because now in 2021, Drake Bell is facing child endangerment charges. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. So the girl who filed the police report on Drake in 2018, this actually didn't result in Drake's arrest until 2021. So the victim's statement is online. You can watch it if you're curious. Basically, she said that he sexually assaulted her and groomed her when she was very underage. The Cleveland police stated that Drake had actually established a relationship with this victim years before she went to the concert and exchanged inappropriate messages with her. And lo and behold, Drake pleaded guilty. And after all that, he was only sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service. That's where Drake Bell is today. Kind of disgusting, to say the least. What do you want me to talk about next? Leave a freaking comment. Thanks.